I am your DM Bonny, and I'm glad to see you found your way back to Pokemon Cross D&D, a series where we'll explore story through character design pulling from two of my favorite obsessions. However, you must be wary, traveler, as there are spoilers ahead, so be sure to check out last week's session to get caught up on all the lore.
Wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up!
Curtis rubbed his eyes as he slowly began to feel the cold, hard floor underneath him. Jirachi was hovering over the boy, her face struck by distress.
What happened?
Jirachi! You're back! He shouted. The boy's smile soon dissolved into confusion as the two found themselves in the center of a circular room. But we were just in the forest. Candles began to flicker around them one by one, bathing the dark space in a purple glow, revealing an unsettling sight of a band of women holding hands across the perimeter of the space.
The lost boy has finally awakened.
Curtis looked around, unable to tell who was speaking.
Your aura is most impressive. Strong enough to burn the world around you, but delicate enough to revive the mythical spirit Jirachi.
Curtis stood up, clenching his fist tightly. The boy's knees were shaking, but with Jirachi by his side, he was able to muster strength before he called out to the voices around him.
Where are my friends? Where are we? We've brought you home, of course. To Lavender Town.
The admins of Team Bastion. Hand-selected by the king, the admins are individuals that show an affinity for clairvoyance at a young age. Able to use astrology as a source for divination, the admins read the stars of the night sky to guide the actions of Team Bastion in the name of the king, expanding the organization's rule over Cantona. Dressed in ritualistic garb, the admins grow more powerful in groups, and channel the power of the cosmos to manipulate energy and matter. They are able to then transfer such wealth of resources into beings like the clay dolls, and use them as needed at range to do their bidding and fight, while keeping their physical forms safe from harm. The admins are dangerous and resourceful strategists, and rarely step on the battlefield unless forced to as a last resort. As the King of Cantona operates from atop his castle in secrecy, the admins allow him the chance to gather intel on the region by becoming his eyes and ears, although he only interacts with their superior and handler.
Let's take a brief moment to rest here, traveler. Here's this week's quest board, which has an all-new question of the day. Be sure to respond in the comments below.
The party is surrounded by too many bandits to count. Which Pokemon would you choose to power through the ambush as the barbarian? Back in Celedonia Forest, the party had watched Curtis activate the crystal orb after it was recharged by the boy's pent-up emotions released as flame. The only way to keep you all safe is to keep you away from me. Those were the words the party had heard before the boy's bone flashed a blinding emerald green light. Next thing they knew, the party had found themselves stacked on top of one another at a bustling seaside port. They had landed on top of a booth inside of a colorful marketplace, reeling from the shock.
Where the hell are we? Ugh,
grunted Zasha. As she got up, she noticed a large shadow looming over her and the group.
Port for Millie. Specifically, you're on top of me shopping wares, of which have been completely destroyed!
Sylvie and Sasha ushered themselves behind Chester, who collected himself to face the massive figure.
Friend, we're truly— You no friend! You're a peaceful man, but now you make Gyar angry!
Gyarados, the rage of the deep. A former pirate turned self-made man, Gyar was once a lowly swab on a sea vessel that was to take him to a new land with bustling opportunity. After surviving a shipwreck after naval conflict, Gyar gained the scars and reputation necessary to become a force to be reckoned with in the new world. He acts first and never regrets the outcome. Using salvage pieces of the former ship he worked on, Gyar destroys his enemies with brute force and unrelenting attacks. Despite his size, he's surprisingly nimble and has an eye for strategy. Although he lacks finesse in his technique, he's very interested in learning about martial arts across the world, and attempts to try new moves before giving up and just going for the head. Gyar is a man of simple pleasures, enjoying the thrill of the fight and filling his belly with delicious meat after victory. Seldom does he go out of his way to make trouble for himself, as he prefers to relish in a more peaceful life. That said, trouble often finds him for any number of reasons, almost always his fault. and only through rage does he solve those problems. After an exhausting conversation to calm down Gyar, a friendly sparring match ensued that ended with the party barely defeating the barbarian, thus earning his forgiveness and respect. The party explained the series of strange events to the man as Gyar set his axe on his back. "Gyar will help you find the boy, but Gyar also stay with you to make sure you pay me back for me shop." Zasha couldn't help but smile, and nodded to the agreement. The boy needs us now, more than ever. But how do we find him? Sylvie's face turned to worry as she wistfully looked into the water by the port. "For all we know, the clay dolls or even the admins, the boy is alive and well." The party turned around to see a man, lit in blue-green flames, walking slowly towards them. "I've been tracking his aura for some time now. Follow me to the Sapporo Mountains and we can still save him yet."
Thank you, Traveler, for joining me on today's adventure. Be sure to complete all of your tasks on the quest board before we set out on our next session. I've been Bonnie, your DM and artist. Until next time, safe travels, Traveler.